It's week 17. The Bestball finals are here. We got DFS action on Thursday night football tonight, Saturday 3-game slate, and obviously all of you who are in the fantasy football championships, what more can you ask for on a holiday weekend, week 17? Let's get into it.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk.
Welcome in to edition 63 of Another Damn Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Steinbacher, running solo tonight, as my main man Josh has a little bit more Christmas stuff to take care of here, as we're just one day past the Christmas holiday. So it's just going to be me tonight. We're going to riff some best ball drafts, some playoff drafts. We're going to check in on my one finalist team in the Hound Dog 3, going for the up top 20K. And we can build some DFS lineups for the Saturday 3-game slate, all while we sweat out this Thursday night football game, which I'm still trying to pull up here. That's why I ran a little late today. And I need to turn this TV down so you all don't have to listen to it. How y'all doing tonight? How are we doing tonight? Are you in your fantasy football playoffs? Are you in your fantasy football playoffs? I hope that your championships, I hope that you are. I've got a couple as well. We will look through those. And, of course, I got to sign in. Should have came down a whole lot sooner to take care of all of this. Let me get this tweet out real quick, and we will dive right in to some best ball stuff here on a Thursday night, again, as we kind of sweat out a Thursday night DFS lineup and some best ball finalist stuff here. As always, I will be answering any start set questions you have throughout the night. If you have them, throw them in the chat. I will be answering those questions for you all, as I always do. Get this rolling. Let's go. And then let's pull up my one best ball finalist team. We're going to pull that up first. So I got one live team here in the can I make it any bigger? That'd be nice if I could make it bigger. I have one best ball team here in the Hound Dog 3. It is a Lamar Jackson team stacked up with Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews gave me a good, solid tight end score on Christmas Day. Mark Andrews gave me a really solid quarterback score on Christmas Day. But, man, did I get some terrible news today. The fact that the Dallas Cowboys are shutting down CeeDee Lamb. First off, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all that they're shutting him down. But dang, that hurts. Dang, that hurts, as I have CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle. I hope Waddle comes back tonight. That would be great. Malik Neighbors is questionable this week, so unsure how that's going to work out. Jackson Smith and Jigba playing tonight. When I turned it off to come downstairs, things weren't looking great for him yet. So we don't love that. I've definitely lost a couple spots here. So, and Jigba has only given us 1.2 points thus far tonight. AD Mitchell Just not anything. Yoshivas, maybe get a touchdown here and there. Michael Wilson, nothing. So after JSN tonight, I don't it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin for me to get to the top to the 20K. Just being realistic. Obviously, there's coming into the week, I actually felt very strong. I loved Lamar. It's I didn't say it. It's a 100 person, 104 maybe person final. Yeah, I think there's like 104 of us. 104 person final. And it kind of looks like about the top, say, 25 or so had Lamar. There's no easy way to find all of them. So the top 25 or so had Lamar, including myself. So I needed a couple things, either Geno Smith to just go bonkers tonight and outscore Lamar. That would have been awesome. Not going to happen. Or just have a sick run out with CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddles, Malik Neighbors, and JSN. That's not going to happen because CeeDee Lamb's not playing now. Tough week for them to go ahead and shut him down this week. So now it really makes it thin. Bateman doesn't do anything. Bateman was great for this team. Bateman showed up in week 15, helped catapult this team into round 2. Actually helped catapult. I think I had 3 Rashad Bateman teams get to round 2 with Lamar. So that was pretty awesome. Only one ends up getting through to the finals, but he does nothing for us on Christmas Day. And so my wide receiver room is thinning out very, very quickly. And that kind of really, really putting like just throwing water all over the fire. Just 2 days, just 3 games into the finals, 3 games into the week. And it already kind of feels like my opportunity for first place is dead. Looking at, let's see, what does Foosball have? He's currently in first. This would be tilting. This would probably be the worst, right? You're 2.5 games into the week and you're winning. You open your app and you see that you're winning 20K. Now, let's be honest. Some of these guys up here with these badges, they're doing this all the time. So maybe they're not actually sweating this. But you're sitting up here, you're winning the 20K right off the top. You got the big 23-pointer from Derrick Henry. Hopefully he doesn't bury us. But you got the big 23-pointer, and you're thinking, wow, I got the 20K in the bag. I've still got, well, shoot, he doesn't really have much for running backs, I guess. Maybe Tony Pollard to go. But you're thinking you got Devontae Adams, ASB, you got Cortland Sutton still, you got Keenan Allen Thursday Night Football. You're feeling really good about where you're at. And how tilting would it be to be sitting on this? He's probably going to be in first place after tonight. He's probably going to be in first place potentially, depending on how the Saturday games go, for most of Saturday. So just rolling into Sunday, feeling really good, probably to have it all stripped away from you in the last moment. So currently I'm sitting 18th place. I don't feel terrible. Obviously, y'all, nobody on this side of the camera is going to be scoffing at a top 20 finish in a best ball tournament by any means. But man, the higher we can get, the better we will feel about this. Let's go back and look at this draft. If you'll, uh-oh. Stuff's not plugged in. Let me hang on. I want to plug this. My monitor's trying to black out on me. If you're here with me tonight, jump in the chat. Oh, 6-3. Goodness gracious. I wanted to get on here early enough to do some like second half bets with you guys. Then it was a whole thing. Couldn't find my Roku. Forgot I took it back upstairs. Had to get the TV all signed in. So we didn't get any second half bets laid for this game. But let's go back and look at this draft here. I want to kind of just talk through what it looks like, how we even got to this team. It actually was one of the teams I drafted from the 101 spot. So that feels kind of nice. And then also, actually, I'll share this. I went back and looked up when this was. The Hound Dog 3 dropped per Underdog on Twitter on August 31st. August 31st is when we got it. This is still not working very well. Did I freeze? There I am. Sorry, my monitor's just not working very well right now. So August 30th, is when Underdog dropped the Hound Dog 3, and it was a 5-entry max. I did max it, put all 5. So $30 into this thing as a part of my complete portfolio, which ended up being about 98 teams. Man, this thing is super tilting right now. I don't really understand why it's acting this way. Of course, it's on the night that Josh isn't here, so I can't just throw it to Josh to talk about something while I get my freaking technology figured out. So let's try it again. So anyways, Hound Dog 3, 20K up top, 18,000 entries, and I made the last 100. I made the last 100. Feel good about that. Now let's go back and we're going to take a look at the draft itself. I had it pulled up at one point today. I wonder if oh yeah, here it is. Man, it's pouring pretty good there, huh? That is not great. That is not great for my Jackson Smith and Jigba stuff I need. So this is the original draft here. I was pretty heavy CeeDee Lamb over Christian McCaffrey in the 101 spot all year long. That worked out-ish. Obviously, looking back on it, I mean, if I know what I know now, probably taking Jamar Chase 101. Knowing how I draft, right? Most people are going to tell you Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, obviously worth it. But for me, I Jamar Chase is definitely who I probably would have been taking 101. So I go CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle's and Neighbors. I was really high on Waddle. He was going more early third into mid third. I was taking him quite a bit at the 2-3 turn when I had an opportunity. I was really high on him there. Obviously, starting 0 RB here. I loved the Lamar, Mark Andrews stack at the 4-5 turn all summer long. Did this quite often. Most of my teams that advanced into round 2 were Lamar Jackson teams, excluding my Bestball Mania team, which I missed by a mere 5 points due to Josh Allen outscoring Lamar by 5 points that week in round 1. Then I just hit it hard with the running backs. James Conner has been great. Jackson Smith and Jigba really taking over for DK Metcalf. Would love some more of him tonight here in the second half. Javonte Williams, Jonathan Brooks. Obviously, Brooks was pretty much a 0. Rico Dowdle was a guy I drafted a whole lot this summer. A.D. Mitchell, Michael Wilson. And then I took Chuba. Something I kind of did every once in a while is where I would just take 2 running backs. I took a lot of Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, Rico Dowdle and Zeke, Jonathan Brooks and Chuba. I tried to do that every once in a while. It wasn't a main strategy that I used every single draft, but it worked out well on this one. Yoshi Voss here, Colby Parkinson, I liked a lot. And then Cam Akers, man. Cam Akers I might need Cam Akers on Sunday afternoon. When I drafted this team, Cam Akers was in Houston and getting some run, and the wheels started to turn like, whoa, Cam Akers, throw him on the end of your drafts. He might be the number 2 in Houston. If something goes wrong with Joe Mixon, you've got Cam Akers. And obviously he gets traded to Minnesota early in the season. Might even got cut and picked out. I don't remember exactly how it worked out. So now I've got Cam Akers, who is showing up every once in a while. I was kind of frustrated last weekend with the Vikings when they would use Cam Akers and Aaron Jones, but then like they gave Cam Akers an entire drive, and then the next drive they put Aaron Jones back in. It was like one or the other. I think that was in round 1, actually, week 15. One or the other, guys. You're killing us here with using them both, but obviously they have a football game to win and don't care about our fantasy stuff. So pretty decent draft. I'm not upset about this. You know, usually when you go, okay, Gino, usually when you get into a final, the idea is to have live players. And outside of Jonathan Brooks, all these guys are live. You know, Michael Wilson, very, very, very thin. Cam Akers, the thinnest. Colby Parkinson, probably actually not live. So 16 out of 18 live. 14 out of 18 are decent plays. And so we'll see how this turns out for me this week. I'm super excited to just make a final. I went back last year just to kind of see. Did not make any finals last year. And so just to be in a final this year is I'm pretty stoked about that. And, you know, should I win a good chunk of change, maybe I'll just put it all back in the playoff Bestball, right? Which we will be doing here momentarily. Before we get into playoff Bestball, let's take a look. I want to talk a little bit about DFS today. Just here and there, off and on a little bit. Don't have to go crazy with this. What's this look like? I don't love that. Don't love that either, but we'll take it for now. Yeah, I don't want to be on that side. Let's go to live. I've not looked at these at all, so I have no idea where I'm at. Oh, God. Nowhere close. That is some rough sledding in the DFS streets. This guy's been hot. LMAO, your face. He's been on all these, every single solo. So every solo game, every island game, I play these. Oh, God, he fumbled it. Seahawks get it back. The linemen get it. I play these $100 or 100-person 3 max contests, 125 up top, $5 entry. The biggest thing for me is just trying not to get duplicated. If you look here, like these guys are splitting the top already. There's going to be a train in here. Yeah, 34.85 is a big train. 33.76 you see here. All these guys have the same lineups, 32, 34. I have no idea if I'm duped tonight. I've not looked at it. So I am not duped with that lineup. So that's nice. That's a DK lineup. Metcalf. Oh, I'm the only one that's got Metcalf MVP. Okay. This is a pretty good example of how I build my lineups, though. Go wide receiver, go skill player in the MVP spot. I don't always do that. Caleb would be a type of quarterback that I wouldn't do that on every once in a while. I didn't tonight. I did not play Caleb in MVP. But most often I always play a wide receiver or a running back in the MVP spot, unless it's like Lamar. Sometimes I'll do like Mahomes because he'll throw, 3 touchdowns to 3 different people. Josh Allen, obviously, is a guy who's going to run it. Jalen Hurts is a guy who's going to run it. So there are a couple quarterbacks that I wouldn't put, or I would put in the MVP. For the most part, I don't use them in the MVP spots. I use their wide receivers, which is pretty pretty different, right? Like you can see here, Geno 20% MVP. I assume Sharps is up there, 28 MVP. And then who's in first place? What do they have? They've got Zach Charbonnet, Geno, okay. DeAndre Swift 4 times or 44%. Nobody's using Seattle's defense. So this is my best lineup so far. Don't love it by any means. Let's check out my next one. 26. So here's a good example of having the same lineup. So this is mine. Maybe not. I have Rome. Does he have Rome? Oh, we don't have the same lineup. We just have the same score. Excellent. Excellent. Love to see that. So here's my Zach Charbonnet lineup. I got the Seattle defense in there. Rome, I know Caleb Williams has thrown it to Rome a few times, but they just have not been able to connect tonight. So that's a little frustrating. This Jackson Smith and Jigba stuff is tilting me already. Could have used a huge game from him tonight. Could have used a huge game. Even put him in an MVP spot. Yeah, look, 32% Caleb, Geno 20. So 50% of the 50 lineups out of the 100 have a quarterback in the MVP. So me, by simply putting 3 lineups in this same contest without quarterback MVP, I'm already different than everybody else. Now it's just a matter of getting the right pieces around the right MVP, which looks to be Zach Charbonnet at this moment. Just don't have the right ones. Usually I'll do like a running back defense kicker, which with 8 points from Myers right now, that would have been pretty nice, but I did not get to that tonight. So we'll kind of keep checking in on the DFS stuff as we go. And I do want to talk a little bit about the Saturday slate here before too long. But I want to leave it up to you guys. Do you guys want to do – we can build lineups for Saturday's slate, or we can just jump in and do some drafts. I would like to just I'm leaning towards just jumping in and doing some drafts. Drafts are the fun way to go. There's currently a $3 contest. Is it filled? The Little Mitten has not filled. 98.2% though. I don't know if I want to do the Little Mitten. Because it's a 20 entry max, and I have 0 in there right now. So we might just do the $5 mitten. But I do know what we can do. Before we get to that, let's do this real quick. So far, I've done 20 playoff drafts. Just running, dude. Caleb using his legs a little bit there. Let me get here. Let me share this screen. So far, I've done 20 mitten drafts, and just want to kind of look through some of the exposures here that we have with the mittens. So as you can see, this is actually only showing 20 of my team, so that's interesting. I hate it when it does this. I hate it when it does. Okay, now it's showing all 20. So I got Derrick Henry up top, my highest exposed player so far, Pacheco, Joe Mixon, Jahmyr Gibbs. So you see the running backs, they're going to have to filter towards the top because there's less running backs in this. You have less options. And I think I've gotten 101. Well, we can look. Josh Allen is the 101. And I would pick him 101 every time. I have 1 of him. So out of the 20 drafts, 1 time, there's only 6 draft spots. You have a 1 in 6 chance to get the 101 over the course of 20 drafts. And I only got the 101 1 time. It looks like I only got I wouldn't have drafted Lamar 102 early on. Just because there for a week, it kind of looked like they were going to be on the road the first game. And I didn't love that. But now that they are pretty well locked up a home game and should they win, they're going to go to Buffalo or host a home game. So now he's an easy click, him and Jalen Hurts. So the first three most often off the board are just Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson. And we'll look at that here momentarily as well. But not a lot of Lamar Jackson. Have gotten quite a bit of Jalen Hurts. So he has been the guy up at the top, especially after they lost last week. And now the 1 seed is pretty well out of reach for them unless something crazy happens. So I've been really taking as much Jalen Hurts as I could at the top. And then you see the bye week quarterbacks, Mahomes and Goff. So wide receiver, I've been drilling. I think Xavier Worthy is still being drafted too low. Another great game this past weekend. I don't think he'll do much on next week because I don't know if the Chiefs will play many other starters. And so maybe that keeps him low. But I wouldn't be surprised to see his ADP rise quite a bit. Right now, his ADP is at 26, and I just pretty well just try to take it as much as possible. You see, I got a lot of Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins is a great 1 week. Just get me through the first week. I don't think Houston goes very far. Hell, they might even lose this first game to Pittsburgh. But Nico's a guy who can score a lot of points. And then one thing I've been doing here over the last day or two is trying to take as much Green Bay as possible. I've only got 2 shares of Jordan Love, and I just want to start increasing that quite a bit because I think Jordan Love and Sam Darnold are 2 guys that are going extremely, extremely late, and that's 2 teams that could definitely make a run in the NFC playoffs. All right, what do you guys say? Should we blow some of this money that we made? Again, I don't think I want to do the little mitten because it's only 3. This damn computer. There's only 3, and it's a 20 max. I would have rather just put 20 in there instead. So I don't really want to put 1 or 2 in that because it's about filled at 98%. So let's just do the mitten. Let's do the mitten. Give me a second. Before I gotta fix this dang computer. This is really, really bothering me. You can use if you want to be on Underdog. It's $5, y'all. $5 draft. It's fun. There's only 6 of us in the draft. Jump in right now. Use code Trevor Steinbacher if you never used Underdog before. Sign up. Use my code Trevor Steinbacher. Get in. It'll match your deposit, and then you go deposit say $20. You get 8 mittens. Right? You can draft 8 times. Draft a couple tonight with us. Jump in right now and do that. I'm gonna fix this computer. I think it just wasn't plugged in well. That's what I'm hoping it was. That is what I'm hoping. Because I also notice every time it freezes on my end, it looks like I'm frozen on the computer as well. And it's not an internet thing, I don't believe. I think it's actually just the connection here, and it's really throwing things off. So hopefully that helps there. Let's jump into a draft. We'll kind of talk about some strategy as we go through this and have a little fun. Come on, Gino. I'm just not going to get any JSN tonight, am I? All right, jump on in if you want. There's 3 still to be had. So jump on into this draft and let's have some fun here. I'm not going to get any JSN. I'm not going to get a big fat 0 from CeeDee Lamb. Thought I had a little bit of a chance after only 25 of us had Lamar. I mean, that's a pretty large number when it's only 104 of you. You don't love a 25% quarterback, but at least it ends up being good chalk, right? Like it works out for us. I want to edit this a little bit and see if I can. see what I can do here. What if I just make my own? I got the 102 this time. It's not bad. Where should I put myself? If we're looking at I'll make myself a little wider. How's that? It's not bad. That's not bad. Now you can see it a lot better, I think. There's JSN. Got a catch. Let's go, baby. I think. Oh, yeah. Little catch, little run. What do you guys think? You think I have a shot with JSN kind of crapping the bed here? How many are you guys in any championship games? What do you guys need this week? What do you need for your fantasy championships this week? Neighbors is a true game time decision. Son of a biscuits. Where's my pick? Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Mac Attack's going to take Josh Allen. I have quite a bit of Jalen Hurts, so I showed you that before when we looked at our exposures. In that first 20 piece, I have way more Jalen Hurts than Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go ahead and click Lamar here, and let's kind of balance those two quarterbacks out a little bit. Every once in a while, I saw it earlier. Of course, I had the 1-6. Somebody took Lamar 101, and Josh Allen fell 102. That's not going to happen very often. If you get the 101, even if you're only doing 8 drafts, even if you're only doing 6 drafts, right, and you get the 101 one time, you really need to take Josh Allen. The main, obviously, one, because he's the best player to take. They're going to be the 2 seed. He's put up a 50 burger twice this year already. He can throw it, run it. He can do all the good things. But if they win the first game, they're hosting probably Baltimore the second game, right? And then you get an opportunity to be in the AFC Championship. So you're getting 3 potential ceiling games from a guy like Josh Allen. You got to take him 101. And if you could say, well, the same thing for Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. There's a reason Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts aren't getting. How is. Golly. Forward progress wasn't stopped? Why is this guy even got on the ball? Wow. Wow, they scored a touchdown off of it? They gave Chicago the touchdown? Did they blow the whistle? I can read Tyler Lockett's lips saying you blew the whistle. Chat, did they blow the whistle on that play? Oh, man, Derrick Henry almost comes back. That would have been phenomenal. That would have been phenomenal. I'm going to go ahead and take Josh Jacobs here. God, this computer is going to screw me over. I just know it is. Get myself a running back here. And then take Zay Flowers on the way back around. Yeah, you can see Tyler Lockett pulls up. It looks like he said he was down by contact, maybe. All right, take Zay Flowers here. So I got a little stack there. The reason I take Josh Jacobs there, when I draft these drafts, actually, before I get there, let me finish my thought on Josh Allen doesn't have Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry. That's why Lamar and Jalen Hurts don't reach their ceiling every single game, because they got 2 of the best running backs in the game, right? Josh Allen, while James Cook can have good ceiling outcomes, it doesn't come at the expense of Josh Allen. And we just saw Lamar and Derrick Henry both get there on Christmas Day, but Lamar and Derrick Henry don't do that too often. If you're playing a DFS lineup, unless it's a 2-game slate like that, if you're playing like a main slate, you're not going to play those two guys together because normally it's either Lamar hits his ceiling or Derrick Henry hits his ceiling. And really, Lamar didn't even hit his ceiling. Like 23 underdog points is not phenomenal. It's not bad. Or 29, sorry. But I think he's probably got 35 in him more often than not. So we're going to build out a Baltimore goes to the Super Bowl. So I am probably going to have to put Bateman on here. So right now I'm just looking at NFC stuff because we can get cheap Baltimore guys later. So I think I'm going to go Addison here, get a Minnesota guy. What I normally do is I build heavy on one side. So this is my AFC team is going to be Baltimore. I'm playing Baltimore to be in the Super Bowl in this draft. So I'll put 4 Baltimore players, 5 Baltimore players, 3 like my main core goal is to get Baltimore players, and then on the other side bring the NFC teams along. Usually that's when I bring 2 or 3 from each team. 5 players are used every week. You're going to draft 10, you're only using 5. You're drafting 10, you're only using 5. Let me get Sam Laporta here from should I get Bateman actually? Bateman's ADP is 30. I could get Reed. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Sorry, y'all. I had to pull the plug. I was going to miss the pick, and I wasn't willing to do it. I wasn't willing to miss the pick. So I did go ahead and take Laporta there. We'll push Bateman. We'll see what happens. If he gets taken, we can always take Isaiah Likely later. Yeah, we could have taken – Mark Andrews went right before us there. I see what happened there. So this guy's got a Philly. He's got Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews. He could take Bateman if he wants to just keep stacking up Baltimore. Could definitely happen there. If that's the case, we go Isaiah Likely, we go Justice Hill. We can still get a couple more Baltimore guys later on. But what I was mentioning is that I like to go heavy one side and then bring 2 or 3 pieces. You use 5 each week. So you have to get past the first round. 2 out of 6 advance out of the first round. You have to get out of your first round pod, obviously. But if you get a team to the Super Bowl, right? Say you have a Josh Allen team that's carried you all the way to the Super Bowl, but then Josh Allen loses to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Damn, Bateman does go. Sniped right before us. That's okay. Go ahead and queue up Justice Hill here and Isaiah Likely. We'll be fine there. Get 4 Baltimore guys out of the deal. So we got a Green Bay, Minnesota. We could actually take a Dallas Goedert, get a Philly guy here as well. And then we can take the one thing we're going to have is a quarterback or a running back. So we take Kenneth Gainwell. Well, actually, if we take Justice Hill, we would have a running back in the last one. So let's not do that yet. I want 2 guys from each of the NFC teams. So I'm going to take Hawkinson here. So again, we're building out Baltimore. We only have 2 Baltimore right now, but we know we're going to try to chase Justice Hill and Isaiah Likely when it comes back around to 47 and 50. If we get those guys, that's going to be 4 Baltimore guys. We'll have a running back in Justice Hill. So if Green Bay doesn't make the Super Bowl, Justice Hill is still going to be there as a running back points. But the point is you want 5 guys who are live in the Super Bowl. If Josh Allen gets you to the Super Bowl, but Josh Allen is at home because, say, the Chiefs beat him, your team is dead. If you've got 5 Bills on that team, that team is dead in the finals. You're going to win your money back by getting to the finals, but you're not going to have an opportunity to take down the final piece of the puzzle because all your guys are now not playing. So you want to mix and match. So when I do this, I'm going to build this out as Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl, and I don't have to be perfect on the other side. I get a Josh Jacobs. I get 2 Philadelphia guys or 2 Minnesota guys, excuse me. I got a Detroit guy. I've got a Philly guy. So now if it's Baltimore, Green Bay, great. I've got 5 guys out there. If it's Baltimore versus Minnesota, I've got 6 who are now live. Most often I do this following my quarterback. Take Justice Hill, Isaiah Likely. So most often I do this following my quarterback. If I get one of the top 3 quarterbacks who are not going to have a bye week the first week, then I'm just going to build that team goes to the Super Bowl, and I'm going to build the opposite way. If it's Jalen Hurts, I'm going to build out Philadelphia, and I'm going to bring back some AFC guys. The exact same way, except for it depends on what side of the conference we're on. We can't, unless you're just going to draft 1 or 2 teams, and if you're going to do that, so be it, have at it. It's, obviously it's your money. And if you're going to do that, my recommendation would be to maybe just take a stance. You're like, hey, I'm going to go do a couple of mittens, and I know it's going to be Green Bay versus Buffalo in the Super Bowl. I know that. So then maybe you just want to build only Green Bay and Buffalo. Go ahead. Do that. But if you're gonna draft 10 to 200 times, you really need to mix it up, because we don't know, y'all. I can sit here and tell you until I'm blue in the face that thought I picked that up. The Chiefs are gonna, three-peat, right? But I don't actually know. And this is a game. Like, we're putting our money on the line. We have to make sure that we're kind of not necessarily avoiding. You got to think about it. Like, in season-long best ball during the summertime, we are definitely taking our stands on players. We definitely want to, say this is going to be like, I was loving taking Lamar, Mark Andrews at the 4 or 5 turn. I loved taking Waddle at the back end of the second, early third. I took Rashee Rice as high as possible every single time. Like, you're going to have those stands. And you can have those even with playoff best ball a little bit. But the player pool is so much smaller. For me, it's more about the construction of your team. For me, it's more about setting yourself up for success in no matter who is going to the Super Bowl. All right, there's one clear guy I'm going to take here. Should he still be there? And he is. And that's Green Bay's Christian Watson. I've already got Green Bay's Josh Jacobs. That gives me a nice 4 Baltimore, 2 Green Bay, 2 Minnesota, 1 Detroit, 1 Philadelphia. I love that a lot. I've got my running back no matter what in Justice Hill. If you can do that, most of the time, I'm not necessarily bringing the running back along with my quarterback team. Most of the time, I would have rather have done like a Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, and then maybe either David Montgomery, because he looks like he might be back, but more often than not, like a Chris Reynolds or Simone Vaki, who's like their third running back in Detroit. Maybe a Kenneth Gainwell for Philly. Kind of doing it that way. To again, I've got Lamar, 3 pass catchers, and then I've got a running back pass catcher for 3 teams on the other side. In fact, I'll show you one of those teams that I did earlier today. 4x2. So this was a Green Bay draft. I went into the draft knowing I really wanted to take Green Bay. Green Bay is very, very cheap right now. I got Jordan Love in the 5th round, and I stacked him up with Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Dontavian Wicks. 7, 8, 9. So love that. So I knew going into the draft, I want a Green Bay draft. It was out of the 6th hole. I've drafted out of the 6th hole about 100 times, it feels like already. So let me go and get a Green Bay draft. So then I start with Derrick Henry, James Cook. James Cook, his ADP is 10. I'm reaching technically on Derrick or on James Cook on this one, right? But the point was, I knew that I was going to build a Green Bay stack, so I wanted to get the AFC running backs, and I didn't want Joe Mixon. I mean, I would just rather have James Cook and Derrick Henry. They're not going to see each other till the AFC champion or the round 2 of the NFL playoffs. One of them's going to advance the AFC championship game. And then I also added on the Chiefs, thinking, okay, if Baltimore play each other, the winner of that is probably going to play the Chiefs. I'm just giving myself opportunity to actually hit the AFC side of this. And so I went Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, James Cook, Mac Hollins. Again, it doesn't really matter. It's the Super Bowl week, right? At that point. And then Isaiah Pacheco and Travis Kelce. So I had 4 Green Bay guys, 2 Baltimore, 2 Buffalo, 2 Kansas City. Very clean. I love this team here. And I think, I'm very live. Should I be able to advance to the finals? And there's no surprises in the AFC, and the Green Bay Packers are the NFC champs. So just a different way to try to get different. And again, we're trying to beat 112,500 other participants, So we got to change it up every once in a while. Let's do it again. Seems like my, knock on wood, monitor's working a little bit more. 3 more spots here. So if you want to jump in a mitten with me, the mitten 2, playoff best ball. Talking playoff best ball. We're getting to the point now. The seedings they're not all completed, right? Like they could still get. I love this screenplay to JSN, but golly, can we get a block somewhere? The Cincinnati Bengals, Indianapolis Colts, Miami Dolphins, these guys are all still technically alive. I haven't completely stopped drafting the Broncos, but I'm not necessarily loving it. I think Cincinnati can beat Denver this weekend, and Carson Wentz plays next week. He's not going to just roll over. He's going to give the Broncos everything he has. He's got to get himself into playoff mindset just in case. You never know. Mahomes, we've seen it with the Chiefs. Mahomes has got the ankle issues. They've used the backup quarterbacks in the playoffs before. What was it, Chad Henne against Pittsburgh or the Browns a couple years back? Carson Wentz has to get into playoff mode. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs still end up beating the Broncos that week and Cincinnati Bengals slip in, or the Indianapolis Colts slip into the playoffs. All right, so this one's a little bit different, obviously. We're not going to get those top 3 quarterbacks. I have been playing on the assumption that Detroit is the 1 seed in the NFC. I know it's still open, but the Vikings having to play the Packers this week and the Lions next week. Not that I don't think they can beat both those teams. It just that's a heavy end to the season. So I'm still going Lions here. I say that because that's who you stare down at the 105, 106 is those Lions players. I'm not avoiding the Lions players by any means. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and take Gibbs. If what normally happens in this moment is the 106 takes ASB and Jared Goff. If he doesn't do that, there goes ASB. So I assume Jared Goff comes in. Oh, he's taking Patrick Mahomes. Okay. So now look at this, y'all. I don't need, and this is probably why I have so much like Derrick Henry. I don't need a quarterback now. These guys aren't taking quarterbacks. This guy's going to take quarterback at some point in time. But I don't need to take a quarterback now. So I can play it for any which direction that I want to play it. But first, I'm just going to take Derrick Henry because I think he's one of the highest scoring players you're going to get at least for 2 weeks. But now I'm really wide open on this one. This is somewhere we can go a lot of different directions. We can take the approach of Jordan Love later. We can go Justin Herbert later. We can take Baker Mayfield. They're going to be, well, shit, I guess they might be missing the playoffs, huh? Wow. I kind of forgot about that. Because Atlanta now is in the lead for the South. We go Jaden Daniels, take the Commanders. I think that's going to be a very difficult game for them to go to Philadelphia and win again, particularly in the playoffs. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to push Jared Goff. I don't mind taking Jared Goff here, but I'm going to push him because EWJ has already taken a quarterback. He's already taken a quarterback. I don't believe he's going to take another quarterback. If he does, I think that's good EV for me. So I'm going to go ahead and stack up this Detroit team, but I'm going to push Jared Goff around the corner because, again, he's already taken a quarterback. I assume he's going to take, Kelsey, Pacheco, yada, yada. Okay, so he takes Laporta here. Now would be potentially a good spot to take Jared Goff, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push him again. I'm going to take Derrick Henry. I already have a Derrick Henry, so let me take Mark Andrews. Actually, I don't want. I want Xavier Worthy. Here's why I push Jared Goff again. The only other guy without a quarterback through the first 2 rounds is Tenley, who has taken Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and Nico Collins. If he elects to take Jared Goff, what does that do for him? He has no Lions players to stack with him. He's already got 2 other NFC running backs. Again, it wouldn't be structurally sound. And so I don't care. Like, if he takes him, he takes him. I'll figure it out later. But I'm going to push it because I don't really think he's going to take him. I don't think he should take him. I think it would be a bad play. I played this game earlier today. I actually ended up getting Jared Goff. I'll try to find the team. I got Jared Goff down in the 40s. Because when people go when they take these quarterbacks early, there's only 6 of us in here. I don't have to push. I don't have to rush into Jared Goff right now. He might take him here, and if he does, so be it. What I probably should do is I probably should take him at 29. But again, EWJ already has a bye week quarterback. So he's going to take 2 bye week quarterbacks. That means he's going to have to take a 3rd quarterback, once again lowering his expected value of this team. And once again, allowing me to, I'll just figure it out somewhere else. I probably won't push him past 32, although I probably could. My assumption is this guy's trying to set up a CJ Stroud or Jordan Love type of stack. I already took Xavier Worthy. I kind of like Hollywood. Pacheco is fine, but I'm not loving Pacheco. Plus, I'd already have my if I go Detroit, I'd already have that. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go Hollywood here. I worry about Pacheco a little bit. He's got now a rib injury. Not that he can't stay healthy or anything. It's just I'm a little worried about that. So I probably if EWJ, which he shouldn't, but if he doesn't take him, I probably could push him here, but I'm just not going to. I think I'll just dive in. He does take a second quarterback, but it's not Jared Goff. I'll probably just dive in, take Jared Goff here. Great ADP value. Got him at 32. He's drafted up here, y'all. This ASB, Jahmyr Gibbs, this is always where almost every draft I'm in, Jared Goff is taken right here. So a way to get off of that or get different from that, in my opinion, is to do exactly what I did and push it and push it and push it. Had this guy taken CJ Stroud instead of Mark Andrews, Tinley in the 3-hole, I probably would have pushed Jared Goff again. But it didn't make sense. I didn't want to lose it, if that makes sense. Probably playing a little scared. I probably could have gotten away with it, but I didn't want to try it. So now I've got my Detroit. I'm saying Detroit's going to the Super Bowl. Now the problem here, Detroit's not playing in week 1. I have to have a quarterback to get out of round 1. I've got a running back to help me get out of round 1. I've got 0 wide receivers to help me get out of round 1. Okay, so right now I have 5 players on a bye round 1. I now have to thread the needle with the other 5 to get a top 2 score out of this pot. Right? I can't take any more Detroit players. I can't take any more Kansas City players. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do this every once in a while. I wouldn't do it all the time. You're definitely going to put yourself in a bind. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Now, this is, again, you could go back to the NFC like Jordan Love, Sam Darnold. I try to go back to the AFC. And I don't really love the Houston stuff, but there's some cheap teams. The Chargers are one of them that I really like cheap. You can get Ladd and Justin Herbert, who are going to face off against the Baltimore Ravens. Who knows? Baltimore's given it up. They're playing a lot better defensively of late, but they've given it up plenty of times in the past. That's an AFC offense I like late. Thinking about round 1, who can get me out of round 1? Justin Herbert has a ceiling. They're throwing the ball much more with J.K. Dobbins been hurt. Even if he's back, I don't think they're going to, 100% go right back to him hardcore. So what 4 players can I add to Derrick Henry to get me out of round 1? Well, stacking up LAC against Derrick Henry, maybe that's the game you needed to get out of there. It goes through Henry, not Lamar. I'm going to feel pretty good. Now, I don't want to go heavy on Baltimore, mostly because I don't want to – I would literally be losing out on a player. I'm going to lose the Chargers or Baltimore in round 1, if that makes sense. So I don't necessarily want to go, all in on one game in the first round. But in this scenario, I'm actually playing for a, Lions, Chiefs, Lions, Ravens, Lions, Chargers. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for one of them. But I need players live all throughout. All right, I don't need to take Justin Herbert here. You do have to take Ladd. I'm taking him early and earlier because people are definitely in love with Ladd. So I can take Herbert later. Now I'm just kind of looking for options. Who can get me out of round 1? I could go Likely. It seems pretty thin, but I really just want one of the best players I can get. And one of the best players on the board right now with the highest ceiling is Mike Evans. It's not going to, not everything has to be the Super Bowl play. This isn't the Super Bowl play. This is I need you to get me out of round 1 while 5 of my guys are on a bye. Detroit, Kansas City are on a bye. I need somebody to get me out of round 1. Mike Evans can help me do that. So I'm currently looking at a Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry, Ladd McConkey, Mike Evans, first round. So my last pick is just going to be number 5. Who's that 5th guy who can just absolutely get me out of the first round? And then the team is pretty well set up for a Chiefs of Detroit, Kansas City Super Bowl. What a snag right off the turf for DK Metcalf. It's set up for a Detroit, Kansas City Super Bowl. Man, I don't have any lineups in the money tonight. Not really even close either. I can't believe we got the game we got out of Jackson Smith and Jigba. 7 minutes left. This sucks. Cold, windy, rainy in Chicago, but still, man. Still. We don't even know if Tampa Bay is going to play in the freaking playoffs. God damn it, guys. Why didn't you help me out with that one? Oh, I forgot about it. I should have taken Cooper Kupp instead of... Who can help us get out of the first round? Cortland Sutton? Why not? Why not? Somehow Denver and Tampa Bay sneaks into the playoffs. And if so, we'll be sitting just fine at that point. Otherwise, this team might be dead already, which happens. One of the reasons I actually like drafting right about now is you can get some of these different stacks. The Chargers haven't technically secured their spot in the playoffs. I don't really understand how, but technically they haven't. And so they're going a lot cheaper. Once they have secured their spot and teams like whether it's Cincinnati or Miami or Indianapolis are not in the playoffs anymore or eliminated, if that happens this weekend, these ADPs are going to switch and Chargers are going to start moving up even more and more and more. So if you can get some of these drafts in now, you're getting some of these guys cheaper than what you're going to get them later on. And you can avoid guys. Like I said, I've been kind of avoiding the Denver Broncos. Not to say that the Broncos aren't going to make the playoffs yet, but I've been avoiding them. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think Cincinnati wins this game. Now, what I would like to be able to do is hammer some Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and Chase Brown. The problem is it's not only the Broncos, it's also the Colts, it's also the Dolphins. So the Bengals have the smallest chance to make the playoffs right now than any of those 4 teams. So that makes me not want to take them as much. But if they made the playoffs and go to Buffalo, I'm not worried. I wouldn't be worried about that. All right, let's I was going to talk some DFS for Saturday, but I kind of just want to do another draft. If you have any start sit questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'll help you out. We'll do it. We'll do it to it. Wonder what our exposures look like. Let's look at let's go real quick. Let's take a live look at our Hound Dog. We're in 16th place now. So we have moved up from 18th place. But, man, 4.7 from JSN, y'all. You know what we like? The greatest thing that could happen right now, because Mark Andrews had, 2 catches? One went for 60 yards and one went for a 1-yard touchdown. He got us 13.8. The greatest thing right now would be for Chicago to get a long touchdown in a hurry and really, really put Seattle into pass mode. And then maybe just somehow JSN finds a long touchdown. Otherwise, I'm going to be praying for Andre Yoshivas and Adonai Mitchell and Michael Wilson, all these guys who are essentially busts. Not busts, that was stupid to say, but like essentially like zeros. Like they're sub 5-point guys. I'm going to need a 3 running back week. Chuba, he gave me 30 last week. No CeeDee Lamb. Maybe Rico Dowdle gets more action. James Conner even going to play. Malik Neighbors, game time decision. It looks like this team is headed in the wrong direction here, folks. Headed in the wrong direction. Top 20 win 500. Top 20. Number 1 wins $20K. I am a long ways from that right now. 32 points to be exact. 33 points to be exact. But long ways from first place. Who does this guy have running tonight that's getting him so many points? Oh, he's got Keenan Allen and Tyler Lockett. I see. Okay. Nobody big. I could have used the big JSN game. All right, let's do one more draft, and then I'll probably shut it down. Let's get back in here in the mitten to just open today. Underdog was ready. I went back to my drafts last year, and I was drafted in the mitten 4. So only 2 mittens so far. Just now opening the second mitten with just 2 weeks till playoffs. So that's interesting to see. Here's the breakdown. I didn't show this originally. So 2 out of your first 6 advance to round 2. And then you have to be best out of 10 in round 2, best out of 10 in round 3, and then a 375-seat final. 375 seats. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I got to assume, again, let's just use Buffalo as an example because Josh Allen can 100% carry you to round 3 or the Super Bowl round, right? So let's just say Josh Allen carries 100 teams, 10% of all the teams to the finals, but they lost to, say, the Chiefs in a 35-32 whatever, barn burner. That's 100 teams that are essentially dead because they're not going to have Josh Allen. They're not going to have a quarterback. They're getting 0 quarterback points in the Super Bowl. Also, why you have to like draft more than one team because you got to have some. You got to be able to spread your portfolio out a little bit. And I'm not saying Josh Allen's a bad pick. Like that's obviously he's the 101 for a reason. The theory of the whole census, in my opinion, is we have to build teams to where we get the Super Bowl right. And every time you build a team, if I'm building a Josh Allen team, I am building that team as if Josh Allen is in the Super Bowl. And if he's not, I know that team is dead. But if he is, then I need to make sure that I have as many live players as possible in that Super Bowl so I can try to beat 375 other players. We're all going to have guys not in the Super Bowl. But can you beat 374 other teams? Oh, it would have been nice for them to switch it up a little bit, give me somebody else, but here I am out of the 5-hole. Last time we pushed Jared Goff as far as possible. The funny thing is you can't actually do that with Mahomes. At least I have not been able to see it done. And I think it's because all Mahomes' pass catchers are below him, whereas Jared Goff's are ahead of him. Right? Last time we took Gibbs, we could do another. Let's see how this goes. We could do another Detroit team. I also wouldn't mind doing another Green Bay team. Do something similar to what I did the other day. Earlier today, actually, I think I did it. When I took 4 Green Bay players late. Just to kind of show you guys how that looks. Jeez, Green Bay or Chicago freaking punting 2 minutes, 14 seconds left. Somebody wasted a timeout. Did Chicago really just – why did Chicago waste the time? What are they doing? 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. They get a false start false start. Send the punt team out and then call timeout? Why didn't you just go – you just wasted a timeout. So let's do that. Let's build out that Green Bay. You know what? Actually, let's not. Let's build out a Minnesota Super Bowl. Because you can get Sam Darnold really late as well. You can get Sam Darnold pretty late. Wow, they got it. And he got out of bounds. Save the clock before a 2-minute warning. Get another playoff here. Right? He got out of bounds, right? Just saw a second tick off. Lee, you going to spend doing some drafts tomorrow? Are you doing some mitten drafts? Or are you on DraftKings doing it? Does DraftKings do a playoff best ball? I assume they do. I know they do season long. Oh my God, Caleb. Catch the ball. What a disaster. Seattle's trying to stay in the race, and they just look like they're terrible. Do a Vikings team. I'm doing a Vikings team right now. That's what I'm about to do right now. I actually will go. I'll put Aaron Jones on. Actually, no, I won't. No, I won't, because Minnesota doesn't have the bye, so I'm gonna go. I'll go Chiefs with this. I'm gonna go Chiefs with this. So maybe if I can pull this off. If I can pull this off, what I would like to do is I'd like to take Hunt here in a little bit, and then do a 4-3-3 or maybe a 4-2-2-2. 4-3-3 would be fun. Minnesota, Baltimore, Kansas City. But here's the thing. Again, Mahomes is gone. Let me take Jordan Addison here. Mahomes is like every team now has this is a perfect example of what I was just talking about, y'all. you don't have to push Jared Goff as far as I pushed him last time, but you also don't need to take Jared Goff at the 9 spot. Look at this. These 3 teams are not taking a second quarterback after taking a top quarterback that doesn't have a bye. And if they are, that's better for you and worse for them. Just take Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you want Jared Goff, take Amon-Ra St. Brown and then bring Jared Goff around the other way. And take Jared Goff at 16 and have ASB and Jared Goff instead of Jared Goff and Jameson Williams. You just don't. You probably don't have to take him. I know you don't have to take him at 16 because I wasn't going to take him at all. But obviously, as a drafter, you don't know that. You probably could have taken Jameson Williams there and just double stacked. So I'm not really in a rush to take Darnold, but I'm not going to miss. I can't miss on Darnold here. Because if I miss on Darnold, I'm in a world of hurt then, right? So I'm going to take Bateman here with Derrick Henry. And then has Kareem Hunt went? Hunt has not. I'm going to pass on Pacheco on this draft and take Kareem Hunt instead. So I'm going to go 41. Sam Darnold's sitting here at 37. What I'll probably do is I'm going to play scared again and go ahead and take Sam Darnold. It would just destroy my draft at this point. The last time when I was pushing Jared Goff, I had other outs. This one, investing so heavily in the Minnesota Vikings early, it would pretty well just destroy this draft if I didn't go ahead and take Sam Darnold here. So I'm going to go ahead and take Sam Darnold. Get my clean double stack. I don't need a second quarterback now because I've got a quarterback that is not on a bye. I don't mind having 3 Chiefs if I can get to that point, even though they're on a bye, because I would still have 7 players. You got to load it, my man. Catch that? Okay, Rome. Did you catch it? Y'all got to call timeout. You're inside the 30. You've already wasted 10 seconds. We're going to go through this again with Chicago and their poor clock management. You've now wasted 20 seconds. You're inside the 40. Oh, at the 40. It was a long pass play. You have 2 timeouts left. Should have 3. You screwed that up. You just wasted 30 seconds. It's a long pass play. You should just call timeout. I know you only need a field goal to keep the game going, but come on. Great catch by Rome, though. Great catch. All right. Shit. Did Hunt go? Yeah, he did. Son of a gun. Well, that's tilting a little bit. Take a Buffalo guy. I can do Buffalo. That'll give me another. Buffalo gives me. I can kind of go away from the Chiefs here. Oh, and I'll take Hawkinson here. It's bad because I have to have a running back, y'all. And Cam Akers, I could throw him in there with Minnesota. Probably wouldn't hurt, honestly. But the Chiefs guys didn't fall. Hunt didn't fall like I thought he would. So I've got my 2 Baltimores. I've got 4 Minnesota. I want 3 Baltimore. Probably going to be likely. That gives me the Minnesota-Baltimore Super Bowl. 2 teams playing in every round. I got a one-off. I got 4 Minnesota guys. So that's also nice. to where if it's Minnesota, Kansas City, I don't have a running back. So that would be – so maybe I do need to throw Cam Akers on there and just call like a 5-3-1-1. I guess it's 1-1, right? 5-3-1-1. And do 5 Minnesota. Throw Cam Akers on at the very end. 5 Minnesota. If I do that, do I need to do 3 Baltimore? Or should I just try to sneak in some more, like another Buffalo or another Chief? I could maybe throw in like a Justin Watson for the Chiefs. Wow, where's throwing that at? Are they in field goal range? Because he just threw the ball 30 yards down the field on 3rd and 10. If they're not in field goal range, that is such poor clock management. Why aren't you just running a screenplay or a draw or something underneath to get into field goal range? Chicago's so bad. This game just really ticked me off. I don't mind like a Justin Watson, though. Why don't we do that? Why don't we go Isaiah Likely here? Sneak Cam. Oh, shit. I only have 1 spot left? Son of a gun. Can't get Justin Watson. I lost track of a guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4. Oh, I already had Buffalo. I forgot I took Ty Johnson. I took Ty Johnson. What a scrub. Why did I do that? Man, I can't get off right now because of Chicago. I gotta see this 4th and 10. What are they doing? 4th and 10. They're at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 40. You couldn't have gotten. He throws a pick. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard. You needed 5 yards to kick a field goal. What a game. 9 points in an NFL game. Here comes the birds. Boo birds, handbirds, all the birds flying. Chicago fans telling Seattle they're number 1. I mean, this is just piss poor coaching. Sorry to any of you all out there played Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Jackson Smith and Jigba, DK Metcalf, Roma Dunze maybe. Just atrocious. Seattle defense ends up as the optimal MVP tonight. One guy had him in the MVP spot. Even Zach Charbonnet, man. He had a good first half, does nothing in the second half. Tough scenes. Tough scenes. All right, y'all. Thursday night football's over. This draft's over. I'm done. I'm getting out of here. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. Subscribe at Bite Size Sports on YouTube if you would. We're close, really actually getting there to 700. If you ever feel inclined to support the show, you can Venmo at Bite Size Sports. Put ADP in the comments. That would support Josh and I, but also Bite Size Sports as a whole. If you are new to Underdog, use code Trevor Steinbacher. They will match your deposit up to $100. Good luck drafting in your playoffs. Good luck in your fantasy football championships. I will be back next week with Josh on New Year's Day, New Year's night, really. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas and have a great and happy New Year. Thanks all for being here. See you later. See you later. Try again. See you later.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats.